the Travesty of Justice, the 400,000th wrestling podcast. This is episode 9, and today we are continuing our Wrestlemania count up with Wrestlemania 8, One Too Many Hoes. Wrestlemania 8, of course, is coming from the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana, where 62,167 sweaty carnies are gouged together.
Are unfortunately in Indiana at the same time.
And honestly, it looks so much better than last year's, because last year's looked like a house show compared to this.
It really did. Last year's looked like a house show where, like, a confetti bomb went off that happened to be red, white, and blue. 360,000 people bought this thing on the TVs and watched it at home on April 5th, 1992. Joining us on commentary is Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
Woo!
So before we get into this, we do want to just talk one quick correction from last year. Something we didn't include in our last episode. Sergeant Slaughter apparently found it very difficult to do the anti-America promos. Everywhere he went, like in town, he wore a bulletproof vest and was surrounded by security at all times. Vince was like, "Hey, you know what'd be great? What if you burned the American flag?" And he was like, "No."
I don't want to do it. And he's like,
but he came up and
he said, "I don't want to die, Vince."
He said, "Wait a second. What if I burn Hulk Hogan's t-shirt?"
That's basically the same thing as burning the American flag.
Right, and so that's what they did. So that's why he burned the Hulkamania t-shirts.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right.
Because to be fair, because that would be, like committing basically treason.
Scooter is back with us this week. Say hi,
Hey!
Scooter. Do you
How you
remember?
doing?
Do you remember Scooter, guys?
I can talk!
Guys, I'm talking to our audience, pretending we have an audience.
Waka waka.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Tell us about some albums.
Okay, well, obviously, the most important one here is probably, because I'm a horrible goblin, the Black Album by Metallica, their big crossover album, was actually on the charts from August to September 21st, 1991. And that was, of course, the big album that kind of brought them from being sweaty thrash dudes into sweaty thrash dudes with money.
It's an important distinction.
Well, also Use Your Illusion 2 by Guns N' Roses, the bad album. Dangerous by Michael Jackson, a U2 album.
Oh, yeah.
Rope in the Wind by Garth Brooks, which I can talk shit about Garth Brooks all I want, but I still know every word to Thunder Roll. Like, that's... Come on now. I lived through the 90s and had a dad who lives in the country.
It's like one of my two country songs that I like.
Right. Was, a song about, like, killing your shitty husband. Also, Nevermind by Nirvana.
Never heard of it.
Which I guess was important or whatever. And then Rope in the Wind by Garth Brooks came back and continued dominating up until the Wayne's World soundtrack brings us to April. So 1992 was a weird time.
Scooter, tell us about the movies between 7 and 8.
Okay, starting off with leading into the summer of 91. Actually, this year, in particular, is a giant year for comedies. So I'm just going to go ahead and run down the list. Shortly after the end of last year's WrestleMania, we had this nostalgic Drop Dead Fred.
Yes.
What about Bob?
Oh man.
Backdraft. The incredibly underrated Hudson Hawk.
I was like, wait, was Backdraft supposed to be a comedy?
Oh, yeah, it was like my favorite comedy. I laughed my ass off.
No, it's just like, it's in there, but
yeah,
you'll see. So Hudson Hawk, after that one, and then City Slickers.
Oh man,
wow. Yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah,
in which Kevin Costner starts to do a British accent and gives up halfway through.
No,
that's a great comedy. I love that movie.
Oh, Prince of Thieves. I'm an idiot.
Oh.
I was reading that, and I was thinking it was Mel Brooks' Prince in Tights. Men in Tights,
no, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
So, yes.
Kevin Costner can't do British accent.
Okay. Ignore me. Anyways. So you got, hey guys, care to guess what Hogan's Suburban Commando made in the box office?
Aside from his ancestors ashamed of him, what?
12 million.
6.9 million.
Ooh, what was the budget on it?
Didn't have it listed, but I imagine it's probably
More than 6.9 million.
I imagine it was probably 20 to 25 million, if I was to take a guess. Because there were some special effects. I mean, Mean Mark Callis does take a
he does take
heavy
a toilet
salary.
to the head.
He does.
Anyways. And the absolute juggernaut that year made more money than Jesus at this point was T2 Judgment Day.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
They made like
Yes.
200, made like 250 million worldwide.
I
Speaking
still love that movie.
It's a
Speaking
good movie.
of more money than Jesus, are carpenters really that well paid?
Anyways,
He did live at home with his
do you count the Catholic Church?
That's true. T2 is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that, like, I hate James Cameron, but that movie...
You hate James Cameron?
Yeah, I think he sucks. But
No, you don't.
Well, fair
Terminator 2, though. Terminator 2. Shit, so good.
Right.
You
don't-
Then
you don't
after
actually
that,
think
we
this
had
is, you're just
the
saying that.
amazing Point Break. And actually, another Keanu movie shortly after that was Bill and Ted. Actually, they came out like 5 days from each other. Was Point Break and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Wait, really?
Oh.
Yeah, like on the
Wow.
website I looked at, they came out very like almost in the same week.
So the early 90s were a magical time, is what you're saying.
Yes, because then we also had Doc Hollywood shortly after that, and then snuck in there is the Richard Linklater indie darling Slacker. Yeah, and then the Fisher King, still miss you, Robin.
Oh, it's so good.
Cool as Ice. Cape, I figured we should do the really good ones and the really bad ones.
Hey, Scooter, can you say drop that zero and get with the hero in the Vanilla Ice voice?
No, I can't. I'm not going
Okay.
to do that.
Okay.
Because I think Robert De Niro from Cape Fear, which came out that year,
Yes.
would tear my head off.
Right, sure.
And then, oh gosh, I just had a little brain fart and I forgot who directed Naked Lunch.
Terry Gilliam.
No, he is the same guy who did Videodrome.
Oh, Cronenberg.
Cronenberg, thank you. David Cronenberg directed Naked Lunch that year. And finishing off 1991, we had Oliver Stone's JFK. Back and to the left.
boy.
Back and to the
Back
left.
and to the left.
Back and to the left. Anyways, starting up with 1992, we have Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Jesus Christ.
After JFK.
The Lawnmower Man, My Cousin Vinny, and
yes.
leading up to WrestleMania, we have White Men Can't Jump.
Ah.
Yes.
Social commentary. Speaking of social commentary, moving into the Billboard Top 100, post WrestleMania 7, Paula Abdul's Rush spent 5 weeks at number 1.
Good God.
Which was followed by Unbelievable by EMF.
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah, Unbelievable. Ah!
Oh, God.
1 week on there. That's kind of like that thing if you go up to anybody and you show them the Scream, like the painting.
Yeah.
It'd be like, what's the name of this painting? They'll be like, The Scream. Like, who painted it? And they'll be like,
Edvard
You can do the same thing with classical music and do Flight of the Bumblebee, and everybody would be like, it's Flight of the Bumblebee. Who wrote it? Beethoven? No. Rimsky-Korsakov. So, play that
Moonlight
song. You're
Sonata. Who wrote it?
unbelievable. Oh! And be like, who wrote that? And you'd be like, I would not have known that if I didn't look this up.
No, you're like, who wrote that? And you're like, some jerk off in a sideways baseball cap in 1991. I don't fucking know.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Prince and the New Power Generation's Cream, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nice.
But really just butt fucking the year. Everything I do, I do it for you.
Brian.
Nice.
7 weeks
Oh,
at number
no.
1. At the end of the year, Michael Jackson would repeat that, spending 4 weeks in 91 and 3 weeks in 92 with Black or White,
With Slash on guitar.
right? Which
What?
was
I didn't
followed
know that.
by Right Said Fred's I'm Too Sexy for 3
Good.
weeks. Also, at 3
that
weeks,
makes I'm jumping ahead here because I saw the back of HBK's jacket and I was like,
right.
When did that album come out? And I didn't bother looking it up, but now I know.
It was pre-WrestleMania. Moving into WrestleMania, we get Mr. Big's "To Be With You." 3 weeks on the chart.
Also, side note, that "I'm Too Sexy" song was like the song equivalent of a Spencer's Gifts T-shirt.
Yes.
That for some reason became a cultural fucking phenomenon, which tells me more than I need to know about like nostalgia for the early '90s. Like, no, it was a bag of shit.
Well, it's like I'm right. I can't remember if I'm slightly older or we're the same age, but I remember everyone singing "I'm Too Sexy." For
me
everything.
too. Like, in 1992, I was like 6, and
so yeah, we were like the same age.
Yeah. So, and there are certain things that you're like. Actually, it was funny. I was at a concert a bit ago, and they played the Macarena in between.
Jesus.
In between sets.
Why were you at that concert?
Don't ask questions. And there was something unholy and weird about seeing like 12-year-olds dancing the Macarena with their parents who are my age, and I'm just sitting there like, oh god.
You're officially old.
Mm-hmm. I'm an old guy.
Jesus. Scooter.
Yes, sir.
You feeling happy?
No.
Major news headlines, 1991. April 15th. Remember the record setting art thievery that happened a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
April 15th. Thieves steal 20 paintings from the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam worth $500 million.
That is so many dollars.
They are found in an abandoned car nearby less than an hour later. The paintings, not the thieves. May 22nd, South Korean Prime Minister, I'm going to fuck this up, Roh Jae-bong, resigns during riots after a student is beaten to death by a police officer. Hashtag topical.
Yeah.
Waka waka.
June 20th.
Also, side note about the art theft. So clearly it was found they were found in an abandoned car. I guess they couldn't make the Van Gogh.
I'm going to kill you in your sleep.
Excellent. That's what I strive for.
Scooter, do you have Amber's number? Can you call her and see if she wants to do
I
the
can
podcast?
text her or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because see if she's got 3 hours to watch this thing with us.
Maybe they didn't have enough Monet to make the Van Gogh.
God! Ooh. You're dead to me.
All right, that's it. That's my 2. I'm done with puns. That's the 2 I get. All right, moving on.
We'll see.
The night is young.
On June 20th, the Bundestag votes to move the capital of Germany from Bonn, where Beethoven was born, to Berlin.
Well, you just
more important,
you wrinkled
June
my brain.
23rd, Sonic the Hedgehog is published.
Yeah.
That's so much more important.
So I always assumed that Berlin had always kind of been the capital of Germany, but now you've wrinkled my brain.
Yeah?
July 22nd, Mike Tyson is arrested and charged with the rape of Desiree Washington, a Miss Black America contestant who was 18 years old. The same day, another man is arrested named Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, Jesus.
August 13th.
A magical time.
August 13th was a magical time. It was the U.S. release of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The greatest fucking system ever released.
Yes.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I can't
October
argue with that.
15th. October 15th, Clarence Thomas joins the Supreme Court. A really overrated stable, if you ask me.
God, they've been around
I
forever.
want to book this. I want to book that so bad. The Supreme Court justices.
Oh shit, dude! I would book the fuck out of that.
Oh my god. It'd be incredible.
They would. Would they be heels or would they be faces?
Well,
or would
depends
they
on who. If
be
the
split
Republicans
down the middle.
It depends on if they're split down the middle because it depends on if the Republicans instated them or the Democrats. And then
when they come in and they're a face, are they a face for life or can they switch?
I think you can have a heel turn at some point, but if you're appointed, usually you have to stick with one alignment.
Yeah. Speaking of alignments, November 24th, Freddie Mercury dies of pneumonia. The same day, Eric Carr of Kiss dies from complications of heart cancer. 2 days later, December 26th, the Soviet Union officially dissolves.
And they'd been hobbling along for a long time by that point.
The day before that, Gorbachev resigned.
They were like Andre the Giant during their last... And during roughly the same time period, actually.
Yep. January 8th, George H.W. Bush gets violently ill and horks on Japan's prime minister. February 10th, Mike Tyson, in his blow-off feud with the court, is found guilty and sentenced to 6 years in prison. 7 days later, Jeffrey Dahmer also gets his rematch and is sentenced to life in prison.
Jesus.
For some economical perspective, I said it, I meant it.
God damn it.
Gas is $1.13 a gallon, and the economy is fucking awesome.
Which, there's a lot of mood whiplash for this, because it's like, Super Nintendo is released, Jeffrey Dahmer, gas is great, HW vomits on a Japanese politician.
Unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to cover the part where he just, like, looks at someone and goes, I'm not going to eat any more broccoli. But, you know, there's that.
Swear to God.
So, moving into this glorious thing, first off, I just want to say whoever wrote all of WrestleMania 8 down, we here at Travesty of Justice, thank you. 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 15 seconds. I can deal with that.
Yeah, actually,
Yep.
this did not suck. Well...
December 2nd. That's right, December 2nd, 1991. Marty Jannetty calls Shawn Michaels out on the barbershop. That was the little talk show that Brutus hosted. Mm-hmm. Asked him, do you want to continue being a tag team or not? Michaels says there is no problem with the Rockers. He raises Marty's hand and super kicks him before throwing him through the window.
Nope. You got it wrong, Marty. He clearly...
Oh, shit.
The coward Marty Jannetty clearly tried to run through the window
Yes!
from...
The assassination of Marty
I love
Jannetty
you.
by the coward Shawn Michaels.
Heenan said, Jannetty tried to jump out the window. What a coward!
that is why I love Heenan.
Fun fact, our very first recording that we did was just Scooter and myself, and we recorded WrestleMania 1. Scooter, do you remember what we called ourselves first?
It was... I think I suggested...
It was not in reference to this.
Oh...
It was LOL Wrestling.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and then
right.
I did a
Forgot.
Google search and found 398,000 podcasts about wrestling called LOL Wrestling.
Lol.
I tried to get it. I tried to throw out the name through a barbershop darkly, but it didn't take.
Through a barbershop window darkly was what we were going for a little bit. And then my girlfriend's like, that's a little bit of a mouthful.
You can't
I love that
very well.
name. I love that name, and I think we're still going to make that T-shirt.
I was weirdly proud of it. Like, you know, it doesn't work as a
It's
podcast
great.
name, but
I think it's fucking awesome. However, watching WrestleMania 2 and hearing Lord Alfred Hayes call a match a travesty of justice, I was like, that's it!
I found
That's
it.
the name.
And I love that
So-
Alfred Hayes always has like one tone of voice in which he says
Which is
anything.
funny because like that's the only time I remember hearing them say travesty of justice. It's usually they always say miscarriage of justice.
Right.
So we
Unless
could have
it's
been
Circade 98. Circade 98 has a travesty of justice.
So clearly that was just
right.
like a Britishization of miscarriage of justice is travesty of justice.
Yes.
Good. WrestleMania 8 is completely different because everything is fucking cats and dogs living together, like bananas eating people.
Mass
It's-
hysteria.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're firmly set in the next era of professional wrestling at this point.
So we started at WrestleMania 1, which is deeply entrenched within the Hulkamania era, which starts with Hogan winning
Which,
the title.
if I remember
the day after
correctly,
Rumble.
I might be telling a story out of school. We're thinking about just calling the pay-per-view Hulkamania, but then Vince wanted to make it more general and not make it just about Hogan.
That is correct.
Which
That is correct. Thankfully, he
thank
called
God.
it WrestleMania. I know, right? But yeah, that was January 23rd, 1984, when Hogan started. When Hogan won the title from the Iron Sheik, and that kind of starts Hulkamania. He's on the top. He's not the champion here, but he's still in the main event. I mean, he's still very much on top. It's like John Cena when he doesn't have the title.
It kind
He's
of
still in the
is,
main
actually. I
event
didn't
because
think
it's
about
John
that
Cena.
until you just said it. It's kind of in the era we're in right now. Well, actually, Cena's fighting for the championship with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Cena always seems to be in the main event, kind of like how Hogan is now.
Yeah, no matter
In,
no matter who the
92.
champion is, he's like the guy right now.
Right. The only difference being that Cena can pull off a decent storyline match, whereas Hogan is just a shithead.
Correct.
Yep. And probably politicked his way to get into the main event. Where
Very
Cena
true.
just seems more of a genuine, like,
Cena just does what he's fucking told.
Yeah, exactly.
Cena's a good guy. Okay, let me try and run down all of these. Jake started to turn heel last summer. He turned on Warrior while trying to train him to wrestle The Undertaker, telling him how to beat him. Warrior and Jake were supposed to feud, but whoops, Warrior got suspended after SummerSlam. At WrestleMania 7...
Well, I thought he got straight up fired because he held up Vince for money.
Well, no, he actually got suspended.
Didn't he pull a no-show?
No. What he said was at WrestleMania 7, he's like, I want $550,000 for WrestleMania 7.
Jesus.
And he got it.
Oh, God.
So he wrestled at SummerSlam, and then they immediately suspended him. Once he got the notice of suspension, he sent basically material back saying, I quit, and WWF said, we are ignoring your letter because you're under contract.
Yeah.
They just didn't use him. Flair had a contract dispute with WCW in the spring of '91. Jim Hurd, who had already demoted him from position of head booker, kind of thankfully.
Which, thank God.
Yeah. He wanted him to take a hefty pay cut in his new negotiation and wanted to change the Nature Boy's appearance. Shave his head, give him a diamond earring.
What?
Call him Spartacus.
What?
Yup.
Who is this clown?
2 weeks before the Great American
He was the same guy who made, what were they called? The Dingalings. And they were a tag team of wrestling bells.
Oh, I was just thinking of the Bushwhackers. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, the Dingalings were unfortunately a thing.
Oh, God.
He was probably responsible for RoboCop, too.
Or Chucky, also.
2 weeks before the Great American Bash, Flair is fired from WCW. But he still has the belt. He called Vince and was like, hey, guess what I have? And Vince was like, oh, shit!
That honestly sounds like a TNA move. It's like, you fire your champion, don't give him back his deposit. And he's like, hey, I'm keeping the belt because you fuckers owe me $250,000.
So I'm holding this as collateral.
Well, Flair joined WWF in August '91. He was the biggest heel to ever heel.
Indeed.
At Survivor Series, he helped The Undertaker win the fucking title from Hogan. Because of Flair's interference, though, there was a rematch at This Tuesday in Texas. Hogan was able to win the title back after throwing ash from the urn in The Undertaker's eyes.
Which is a thing good guys do, obviously.
Yes, you
Clearly.
disrespect someone's remains.
I was going to say, desecrating someone's remains so that you can win a match. That is the
Good
most
guy.
And
guy,
put it in,
yeah.
and rub it in his eyes.
Right. You know,
Because
like
of
a
the fucked up endings, Tunney vacated the title and put it on the line at the Royal Rumble, which Flair would win after coming in at third place in the Rumble.
Yeah, there you go.
He would be the earliest entrant to win the Rumble. WCW tried to actually sue to get the belt back, like you were talking about, Scooter. Flair was like, yeah, I paid a deposit on this thing for $25,000. I haven't been given that money back yet.
So how about
And
you
they
give me
didn't
the
give him
money?
the money back. So he just kept it. I mean, he still had it until eventually he ended up giving the title, the actual belt, as a gift to Triple H.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Not kayfabe.
That's incredible, actually.
I guess I should say to Paul. Bret Hart won the Intercontinental title from Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam in '91 after splitting from the Hart Foundation after WrestleMania 7. He would lose it to the Mountie 2 days before a Royal Rumble, where Mountie would lose it to Roddy Piper.
So wait, who won the match? Who won the match? Was it the boring Canadian, or was it... Oh, okay.
When you are speaking about wrestling royalty, you will speak with proper reverence in your voice. Do you hear me?
Because, let's face it,
You're right. We need somebody with charisma, like Sid Justice or
God.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, God.
Fuck you, Ryan.
Look, couldn't we have given the Repo Man a shot at Glory?
man,
The
how
fucking
far
Goblin.
did that guy from Demolition fall to become the Repo Man?
About as far as he did on the scales.
Yep.
So, Scooter,
Yes, sir.
talk to us about the opening.
Well, we have the... I almost called him a legend, but that's not true. Tito Santana, who has
No. Before that, I mean, like the graphics.
Oh, the graphics.
Do you remember the bad computer generated?
Yes,
thing?
now I do. I was trying to ignore that and go past that. So we have like graphics that are made on an Apple TI-82, possibly. One could hope. Of Vince screeching.
Isn't that a calculator made by Texas?
I don't. There's no time
calculator.
for accuracy or anything. So I'm just gonna go.
You ask a lot of questions.
That's true. I do.
Vince screaming about the co-main event. And I'm like, co-main event? It's like, wait a second. Why isn't this title match the main? Wait, are you telling me that Sid and Hogan is the main event, not the title match? And like, it's like, what the hell? And then like at the very end, they weird. I couldn't tell if it was video or just a stock image of Hogan rising from something and posing for a hot minute before shit explodes. I can't remember.
The grave.
I think it was a stock footage, but
I couldn't tell. It looked like it was
neon
moving.
arrows. The neon arrows were just that were flying all over the place.
Yes,
I loved it. Ric Flair is going to be defending his championship against who?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Didn't we see Macho Man in a match at WrestleMania 7, Ryan?
I believe we did.
What was the stipulation in that match?
If you lose, your contract is terminated.
Yeah, not important.
Or you're retired.
No, or you're retired. It's not important.
Sid Justice versus Hulk Hogan in what could prove to be Hogan's farewell. It's a double main event! But which one is the mainer event? Obviously the one that doesn't involve
It's like Animal Farm. Some events are mainer than others.
When we open up to the actual audience, I said, holy shit, that is a lot of people. Bobby Heenan immediately starts talking about the centerfolds that Rick said he had of Elizabeth.
He's looking up at the sky for them.
He's like, they're going to be on the big screen. Move!
And Monster's just getting pissed. He's like, will you stop?
That's all he says this entire time.
Yeah, actually,
will you stop?
I've started doing that in my own personal life. It's like, will you stop? Like, it's, yeah.
We should do that anytime you make a pun.
You should.
Oh,
why don't
right.
you? I'm the heel commentator on this podcast.
Reba McEntire. She's adorable,
Yeah.
isn't she?
Dude, I wanted
She gets a huge pop.
Well, yeah. She's
this
Reba
is our
McEntire and it is
first
new hotness.
1992.
This is our first Star Spangled Banner since Mania 1. She sounds horrendous. My family has... No, she sounds horrendous. My family has this bell. It is a Christmas bell. It is electronic. It's a battery-operated thing. We used to play it around Christmas. It plays like... I mean, this thing is from the fucking early 80s. Like, I do not remember us not having this thing. And you turn it on, and it would play, you know, Christmas songs. But it would just bang them at you. Like, bang, 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 bang. It was, like, supposed to be a digitized bell. But it sounded really bad. But as the battery started to die in it, it got it got worse and worse. So it would be like, bang, 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 bang. Like... And that is exactly what Reba McEntire sounds like. She sounds like our old, terrible bell. And my sister will never listen to this because there's, like, the language is a little bit rough for her.
Right.
My mom usually just watches our sister show, but she... I'm going to make her listen to Reba McEntire sing the Star Spangled Banner. And so she can be like, that sounds like our Christmas bell.
and don't lead with that. Let her come to that conclusion on her own. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She gets a pretty big pop anyway. There's even a Reba sign. Bobby says, man, Tito's sister can belt one out. That's a Reba McEntire, right?
That's amazing.
Wow.
I don't care what you say. That fucking killed me. Because Tito was always screaming a Reba.
Reba!
I didn't even think about that. That's okay.
Let's talk about... Talk to us about El Matador, Scooter.
Oh, sorry, you cut out for a second. Yeah, so Tito, who has just been Tito Santana since at least 82, is suddenly suddenly it's like, you need to be a matador, Tito Santana, who walks out and in bullfighter pants, very boredly. Like, he's just like, I'm still wrestling for this goddamn company. I've given them the best years of my life. I'm in the twilight of my career. They made me a matador. Fuck my life.
if he were French, he would be wearing a stripy shirt and come down to the ring holding baguettes.
Yeah, something like that.
Cigar.
Yeah.
So he just kind of looks done. But God love you, ToJ Santana. You made it this far. Lesser men have or greater men have not made it as far as you have in the WWE or F. But yeah, and he makes his entrance. There is audible not caring from the audience.
There was palpable indifference.
Palpable indifference. That's even better. And
That's a much better name for our podcast.
Yeah, there we go. Indifference so that you can cut it with a knife.
Now legendary moaning of Scary Sherry, and we realize that HBK, Mr. WrestleMania, is now his character he'd be for the next 20 years.
Which I had never heard Sherry's rendition of Sexy Boy, and I was so uncomfortable. Like I've only ever heard it sung
because
by...
she's not happy.
No,
she's just angry.
No. She's angry about how sexy he is.
Sherry Martel is just angry.
But, like normally, I'm used to the theme where it's like Sean impersonating a wet ashtray full of gravel, going, "I think I'm cute," and then Sherry Martel is screaming at me, and it was fucking weird, man.
My favorite part is near the end when it's just like, "Hands off the merchandise, ladies!"
Yeah, and I'm just like, please end this. Please superimpose the HBK theme that I.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Shut your mouth. It's the best thing ever.
Monsoon says that he likes Tito's music. I legitimately marked out for Shawn Michaels here.
Yep.
I have in all caps in my notes, Shawn fucking Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper.
Mr.
And with his goddamn jacket says, "I'm too sexy for this jacket."
Yes.
Was amazing.
No, for this crowd.
Was it this crowd?
I'm too
And
sexy.
he's got the dangly earring and the mullet and it's God. It is, it's beautiful.
But you're leaving out the most important part.
What?
Sherry, her spine is bedazzled.
That's opulence right there. Bedazzled spines.
Monsoon, after Heenan says that Sherry is lovely, which she is, Monsoon says, "I think you should go see your oculist." And Heenan says, "There's nothing wrong with my feet."
Oh, I love Heenan and Monsoon.
I love Heenan so much.
Yeah.
Sean wastes time. He allows himself to be disrobed. Sean says, "Do not move until I tell you." And she's like, "I love you." He says, "Yeah, I know."
You know what it is? If I can be an enormous goblin for a moment, it's like on Doctor Who. The first time you see like an incarnation of the Doctor wearing his like iconic outfit that he's going to be known by, that's what it was like seeing Shawn Michaels come out dressed like this to this theme music. It was like, finally, I'm not looking at like rocker Shawn Michaels. I'm looking at HBK like Shawn Michaels.
Right. Some fucking marks in the audience start holding up a giant Hulkamania sign and running across the crowd with it. Michaels has really, really gotten into this role, being a cocky heel. He gets clotheslined over the top rope, continues selling it for about 3 minutes. And then we get Concerto for Headlocks, as performed by ToJ Santana.
Yep.
Just too many side headlocks. Side headlock transitioned into a side headlock.
Right.
Yeah.
It is basically, I can imagine, like, late at night, Randy Orton whipping this match out and just slowly touching himself to it.
It's like,
of course it would be slowly, because...
Well, that's what he does, yeah. Unless he's doing a power slam, which he does on fast forward, and it is terrifying. Everything else is slow.
It's so weird.
Yeah, power slam is on fast forward.
So there's a spot where Michaels tries to get out of, I think, the third or 40th side headlock. He tries to sneakily grab Tito's hair. He takes like half an hour to get up there. And then the ref is immediately like, "Hey, let him fucking go." Like, he just immediately tells him to fuck off with it.
Excellent.
I thought it was amazing.
Just watching this match, just looking in Tito's face when he has the snaps on the side headlock, he just looks done. He's just like, why am I wrestling this kid? I could be at home, not doing this.
Not wrestling. Not being the Matador.
Not wearing Matador pants and getting paid for that? Like, fuck.
I'm not even Spanish.
Yeah, and he's like, dignity is fine, but I've got Matador pants, so...
And money. Let's not forget money.
And also money.
There is... I don't know if you guys heard this. There's a lady in the audience who is doing her best Vince impression.
Who's screaming at Sean
Yes!
in the beginning.
Come
Forgot
on,
about that.
Tito! No, she's like screaming, "Come on, Tito!" You can hear her. She rises
hates
above
Sean.
the cloud. Oh my god, she hates all. She is such a mark.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, it's Amber. Amber is there.
Just marking out, screaming.
Except she loves Sean. And I think I wrote somewhere in my notes, "Oh my god, this fucking headlock." We get a sign in the audience. Someone holds up a Bible verse.
John 3:3.
Actually, no. Usually it's John 3:16. That's what everybody holds up at like football games and stuff. This one says John 3:7. Later, someone holds up John 3:3.
There we go.
Guys, I just want to point out at like minute 13:44, I wrote this down. You could totally make out Sherry's nips through her outfit. So I'm just gonna leave that out for all you young
on the
teens.
nipple comment. John 3:7. I looked it up. Now that we're talking about Cherry's nipples, and it is, "Marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again." Perhaps it's a callback to WrestleMania 6 when Hogan cut his Jesus promo on Warrior. You got to be born again in the fires of Hulkamania, brother.
Oh my god.
That's basically what breathe your life into me, and I can save you.
Yep.
Monsoon says, "You can't pin a man with a side headlock." Heenan says, "I have."
It was awesome.
And actually, Heenan and Monsoon were great, but there was one moment that I noticed where Bobby, like during this match, where Bobby Heenan totally forgot what he was about to say to Monsoon and still tried to say it. He's like, "Oh, you never tell the truth, Monsoon," and they quietly forget that this happened, and then they move on.
That's great.
Because Heenan just constantly is just throwing random barbs out. So he's just kind of forgot what he was going to say.
You know what I want, though?
Screw it.
I want everybody who is commentating opposite Gorilla Monsoon to be in cahoots with each other, that they will all constantly talk about the hot dogs this man is always eating. Just Bobby Heenan, like, "Yeah, well, you would say that, Mr. I ate a bowl of hot dogs for breakfast."
I want to eat a bowl of hot dogs.
Gorilla Monsoon probably does eat a bowl of hot dogs.
I mean, to be fair,
It's bulking, dude.
Yeah, who doesn't eat a bowl of hot dogs?
On that strong bulk.
So did you guys notice how Monsoon referred to the super kick as a side crescent kick?
Crescent kick.
What
Yeah.
the okay.
Maybe that was the name back then, because I don't know. Because I've always referred to it as the sweet shin music until
super
recently, when I realized that move was just called the super kick.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it was just a crescent kick at this point, and
I
it just
think-
evolved.
I think at this point, any name for a move is purely incidental because nobody knows what the fuck they're called. Like, you could do, like, a fisherman suplex on someone, and someone's be like, "That was a great superplex," and nobody's going to call them on it because nobody has any real moves.
Right.
Honestly, I have a theory. I think, do you know when we started to have actual concrete, like, canon names for moves?
Joey Styles.
Wrestling video
The
games.
internet? Oh, yeah.
Like
And
when
the
you were
internet.
like when you would play like WrestleMania 2000 or something, Friend 64, and you would like do the Creator Wrestler. I think that's how I memorized what every move was actually called.
Yep.
Was doing that.
Yep.
That's a good call.
I
And I think
wasted
it
so much
helped
time
when the
on it.
internet was formed and you could actually like chronicle all the moves and actually give them like names.
Right.
It's like
Yes.
I actually was given pause with the word with the Goga Plata. Like I had no idea what that actually was and had to look it up.
what about
you
the
go.
Shining Wizard?
The Shining Wizard is the most hilarious move name I have ever heard. And when someone was
It's-
like, "Oh, that was a great
it's
Shining
huge.
Wizard from AJ Lee," I'm like,
God.
"What the fuck is the Shining Wizard?" And
No,
which
like
fucking
they
whimsical
love that movie in
forest gnome?
Japan. The announcers
Yes,
go
they do.
nuts. They're just like Shining Wizard, Shining Wizard.
Beautiful. I just wonder, like, what whimsical, like, forest sprite came up with, "Let's call that move the Shining Wizard." And like, okay, that's cool. Fuck it, who gives a shit?
Speaking of whimsical forest sprites, Sean launches Tito over the ropes. Sherry goes over like she's going to attack him. And then our friend in the audience, Amber in the audience, starts screaming, "Leave him alone!"
Yep.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be her friend.
It's great. Sean hits a beautiful rib / backbreaker. What is it with us and just fucking popping for backbreakers?
Backbreakers are pretty sweet.
They're great.
I mean, backbreakers are sweet, but I don't know.
We jerk off to backbreakers. I don't know why.
Have you
Sean
guys
is-
noticed that the ref in this match is possibly the fifth Beatle?
Yes. Oh god, he looked like his mom cut his
Yes,
hair
he
with
is.
like. He looked like his mom put a bowl over his head and cut his hair. Incredible.
Sean goes for his teardrop suplex, but Tito counters. Tito hits his flying forearm, which Heenan calls the flying jalapeno.
That's the new name for it.
Wait, how did he pick jalapeno out of all the available
'Cause he's-
things?
Mexican.
Correct.
Duh.
Out of all- yeah, well, yes, but of all the words, like, okay, what is Mexican? And he was like, Speedy Gonzalez. Talk jalapeno. Call it the flying jalapeno. Fuck it. Like, I don't
Dude,
know.
flying jalapeno is a pretty sweet name for a movie.
Yes,
It
but
really
there,
is.
There was a band called the Flying.
Honestly, the least racist probably he could have come up with.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, there was a band back in the day called the Flying Burrito Brothers. You could have referenced that.
I would listen to that.
Indeed.
Are they as good as Mike Tenay's Vaporwave
Nothing
album?
is as good as Mike Tenay's Vaporwave album.
Did you
He has
listen
a
to that?
title
I
called
did.
Fuck.
It is
I'm so sorry.
It is unfucking listenable. I loved it.
He has a
Scooter and I
title
sat
called
down and tried to
Fuck.
listen to it. He does have a song called Just Fuck. That's not a very good song.
No,
We listened to
no.
it and we were like, fuck this.
This is awful.
So
I didn't know
Sean-
what Vaporwave was until that happened. Oh my god.
Man.
Sean bumps for a knee lift and an inverted atomic drop, and Tito hits his donkey punch. He punches him in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
He hits a donkey punch.
Yeah.
He tries to bring Sean in over the ropes. Michaels holds onto the ropes, and they botch the fall. But HBK picks up his first solo win at Mania in 10.5 minutes. He calls Sherry into the ring and misogynies at him.
Oh man, I love it when he like.
It
when,
was so
like,
good,
Tito
though.
looks so sad, and he's like slowly leaving the ring, and Sean just picks up both of his hands and just goes, "You go now, you go," and just shoots
And
him
he
away
like,
from the ring.
yeah, and then like Sherry comes at him and he just like shoves her down so she can pose in front of him. Oh my god, it was amazing.
And then he starts flexing, and you're just like, this is the greatest heel that has ever existed.
Oh my god, he's so good.
Yep.
So I gotta know, guys, Ryan.
I gave it a 3 out of 5, actually.
Okay.
Because, like, again, more headlocks than anyone could ever possibly want.
Right.
And I thought the ending was kind of bullshit. But, I mean, that was, like, it wasn't objectively bullshit, I just didn't really care for it.
Okay.
It dragged in places it shouldn't, but also, I was so excited to see, like, the iconic version of Shawn Michaels. And there were actually some pretty good moves. Like, Shawn oversold everything, and that was great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
Okay. And
Yeah,
Scooter.
yeah. I actually went with a 2 out of 5 for this match. Just like basically for the reasons you stated, Ryan. It was good to see Sean, and Sean worked his ass off, but it was just too many side headlocks and kind of a match. So that's why I gave it a 2 out of 5.
That's fair.
How about you,
Honestly, I think
Marty?
I was so starstruck by Shawn Michaels that I had to give it at least a 3. If it weren't for the side headlocks, then the match could have been a 4.
Right.
But
Well, because
literally
Sean was working a
80%.
4 match. It's just
Oh,
Tito
yeah.
was too bored too done
Right.
to care.
Tito was
I wish I
praying
could have
for
just
death
rated Sean,
the
but I
entire
can't.
match.
I can't just rate one worker in the match. Because Sean would always get like an 8. But did I mention I like Shawn Michaels? Hey,
Slightly.
so then we get Mean Gene, and he gets to talk to the Legion of Doom.
Fuck me.
I mark for the Road Warriors. I don't even care. They're
suck.
assholes.
They suck so bad.
No,
really
it's
bad.
fine.
Also,
It's
Paul
fine.
Ellery
Paul Ellering looks like
is their
Rob
manager.
Rob Ellering, Paul Ellering looks like Rob Halford from Judas Priest.
Yes, he does. That's
He
what
has
he
apparently
does do that.
returned.
Yep.
I do not know from where. Here's a question: what are the 2 members of Legion of Doom?
Hawk and Animal.
What?
Okay. What is on Animal's face paint?
A spider.
It's Spider.
Why is he called Animal? Why can't we be a little bit more
Because-
specific with him? Apparently, they're going to try and kill Jimmy Hart and IRS.
We are going to literally murder a dude.
And I am told that it is quite a rush.
What a rush!
So Jake Roberts and Sean Mooney. Sean Mooney says there's a rumor that Jake plans to bring a snake to the ring. Imagine that.
Rumor.
A rumor.
Honestly, Jake the Snake's promo, it wasn't his best promo, but I love him purely because, especially during this period, I think every wrestler decided, you know what'll really get a good pop? I'm just going to scream at the top of my fucking lungs all the time. Everyone talks like that one guy from the Twisted Sister music videos who would be like, "What do you want to do with your life?" Only that was every fucking wrestler, and God, it's unbearable.
Well, we talked about this when Jake first did his first promo, whichever WrestleMania that was, and so, like, that was what he brought. He stated, it's like, everyone else is screaming, I'm going to talk softly so you know to listen to me. So that's just kind of, like, that's always been his mannerisms.
Yeah, especially after the Legion of Doom, which I hate worse than herpes. I was so happy about Jake the Snake.
True. There's a video package where it shows him slamming Taker's head in the coffin. He gives Paul Bearer a DDT.
Good.
And did you notice his tights?
It's a woman, a naked woman clothed in a snake.
It looks like the van that
every metal cover ever.
Yeah, it looked like the van that I probably would have wanted when I was like 14.
Yes.
Yeah, it looked like that.
Jake Roberts versus The Undertaker. And holy shit, is The Undertaker over.
Yep.
Last year, he was not a bad guy. He was just terrifying because people were just like...
during Jake's entrance, you can kind of tell something's not quite right with him. Obviously he's pulling up his like heel gimmick, which is usually when Jake goes heel, he kind of goes a little crazy. And he just kind of like sits in the corner and stares up the space, and then just kind of like starts laughing. And it's like, oh no, Jake's off the wagon.
Yeah, and then also it's one of the reasons that of the many reasons I think Jerry Lawler is a fucking clown and deserves to die. I get irritated when he constantly is like, haha, I'm going to joke about Jake the Snake's alcoholism, and just constantly brings it up anytime that Jake the Snake is mentioned, and it's like, yeah, Jerry, thanks, man.
Yeah, he's probably fucked in this match.
Yeah.
Undertaker is kind of stalking around the ring, and Jake is very quick, trying to get in some quick shots. I kind of like the way that the Undertaker no-sells things.
Yeah. Like usually people who no-sell are assholes, but just the way the Undertaker does it.
Because he sells it.
He registers that a hit was had by him.
It's really like good psychology, because he's the
unlike
dead man.
Hogan.
Yeah, he's the dead man. He doesn't feel pain like normal men. So he's like,
he still has,
I'm getting hit, but it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, there's still a hit.
And I'd like to point out, during, again, like the new generation where you had, like, an evil plumber is wrestling a Mountie or whatever the fuck. So clearly an era of, like, really out there gimmicks. I think, for some reason, I don't look at a zombie mortician from the Old West who hangs out with Paul Bearer, who has a magical urn and it gives him superpowers. I don't know why I look at that and I'm like, yeah, it makes sense.
Because it's the Undertaker, and that's the thing, though.
Because LOL wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because Undertaker, just like, because he was the right worker to get that gimmick, because I don't think anyone else could have made that work.
I think with anybody else,
you give it to Kane, it probably falls on its face. And I love Kane. No offense to Kane, but just for whatever reason, Kane's fine. Mark Calloway is just the right worker in the right time.
I would totally agree. Actually, it wouldn't have worked with anyone else.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Jake hits the DDT. Undertaker gets up. Jake doesn't sell being shocked about it because the crowd is shocked.
But not Jake, because he's too high to care.
Right. And so Jake just runs over and DDTs him again. Mm-hmm. Jake starts chasing after Paul Bearer. Undertaker comes after him, tombstoning him with a really, really safe drop on the outside.
His head was like a foot above the ground.
But it was on
almost as high as Hogan's was at Survivor Series.
Almost like that.
Taker rolls him back into the ring, starts pinning. Looks like Jake's foot is under the rope, so they switch camera angles. Taker wins in just shy of 7 minutes.
Yep. It was an extended squash, but I don't know, I feel like it was pretty good.
I didn't feel like it was a squash.
Well, I mean, it was. I feel like it was entirely there to.
It puts Undertaker over strong.
Right.
Because Jake is probably on his way out because of his issues, and Undertaker's clearly
This is
on the
his
way
last
out.
match.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he will return. But this is his last match.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
Scooter?
I kind of dug it, and it was short. Even though Jake is probably out of his gourd, he still can work a match. His psychology is not as what it used to be, but like, I thought it got the Undertaker over real strong, so I gave this one a 3.
Yeah, but even, and that's the thing is, like, even Jake Roberts, like, not at his full powers as far as, like, psychology, still way better than most of the guys on the roster.
Yes, and that's why this match is still a 3.
Yep.
I completely agree with you 100%, Scooter. Ryan?
Fuck me. Yeah, 3.
Cool. Gene again. Piper and Bret Hart.
This promo.
Piper killed me.
Yeah, he was actually really funny.
And he
Oh my
just, like,
God.
it was clear that Bret, like, I wish they would incorporate that more into Bret's character, in that, like,
Wait, what character?
he well, hold up. Give it, like, he's the guy who like refuses to get on the mic at all, and he's just like, I'm just gonna kick your ass in the ring, and that's all he does. He doesn't need, because that's the thing about Bret. They try to have him do promos, but it's clear he didn't need it because work showed for itself. I wish that would have become more of his character. It's like
So like Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman now, basically.
yeah, he needed someone like a Paul Heyman who basically would talk.
Can you
for Bret Hart.
imagine? Can you imagine if Bret Hart had had a Paul Heyman?
Oh my god. Maybe I would have liked him. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's the thing that because Hot Rod is just talking and talking and talking. Bret says like don't touch me. And that's the extent.
Yeah, that's Bret's entire line.
It's like
the only
like
thing that matters is me winning back my Intercontinental Championship belt, eh?
it's like watching a hairless chihuahua screaming at a greyhound from behind a
And I
screen
think
door.
this kind of broke kayfabe because as Hot Rod was talking about how he knew the Hearts, even though he's supposed to be from Glasgow, Scotland, even though
Lol.
Hot Rod is clearly Canadian.
Yeah, and then actually, the end of this promo had the least convincing "we're both rearing back to punch each other" moment I
True.
have ever seen, where they're both like. It's funny because like Bret is rearing to punch Piper, but Piper doesn't notice that he's doing it, so Bret is just kind of holding it there for half a second, and then Piper
I
turns around
don't
and goes,
think so.
Right,
I don't
honey."
think so.
Bye bye.
Bye. I do like that was kind of annoying until he kind of picked up the title and was like, "She be mine." It's like, okay, yeah, this
Whoa.
title's important. I get it.
Wait,
Yeah, that's awesome.
kind of annoying. Piper's whole thing is that he is a human air horn.
That's very true.
He is there to be annoying.
We come to the match of Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper. Bret is really over the crowd, as is Piper.
Uh-huh.
Good guy versus good guy.
Rare in the WWE to do something like this.
Bret is about as neon fucking pink as you can possibly get.
Holy shit, this man.
Piper, for all his demons and problems, has a lot of charisma.
Yes,
And this match
more charisma
really
than wrestling
helps.
skill. Unfortunately,
Yes.
he can work
It
in the
really
ring
helps
because
to
his
cement
charisma carries
Bret.
the rest of it.
It helps to cement Bret as a legitimate singles competitor. Oh my god. Piper hits a wrestling move.
Right, I was surprised.
An arm drag.
Yep.
Woo!
Time wasting the match, but it's a pretty good build up. Bret's arm wrench stays on despite Roddy's best effort to get it away. Kind of like that spot.
He's just like, get it
Bret
off,
Hart-
get off, get off.
Bret Hart tries to cross body Roddy over the ropes. They fuck that up real
They
bad.
both tumble over together, kind of.
Crowd pops anyway for it.
Yep.
I love how Heenan doesn't know who, like, his brain's a little fried in this match because he doesn't know who to cheer for.
Right.
Because they're kind of good guys. So he's just like, I don't know what to do. They both
I
suck.
hope the ring collapses and they both get sucked down to hell.
Roddy, after they both go over, Roddy's the first one back in, and he holds the ropes open for Bret. The crowd claps for it. He comes in, and the crowd's like, fuck yeah, because it's a clean break. And then he's like, hey, buddy, your shoes are untied. So Bret looks down, and then he punches him in the back of the head. That is so well done.
It's so
Oh, my
good.
God. I love
These
it.
guys, like, because, like, we kind of make fun of Roddy's wrestling ability. And most of it's great, warranted. But Bret's such a good worker, he could bring Roddy Piper to a really good match.
He can bring Piper up to like a C- maybe.
As the fight drags on, Brett gets away from his technical abilities, just starts punching him. Both men go down as they clothesline each other. Brett attacks Roddy on the top rope. He hits the world's prettiest inverted atomic drop, snap suplex, Russian leg sweep, which Monsoon calls a neck breaker because
all the classics, all the Bret Hart classics.
And then hey, a backbreaker.
Yay!
A really good backbreaker too. Really good.
Piper blocks the sharpshooter, and then they brawl on their knees. I love it.
Yeah.
Because Hart is bleeding, and
I
they're
normally
just exhausted. I love that.
And
spot.
this
like I normally don't like blood in my wrestling matches. It depends, but like in a case like this, it works really well because both these guys are exhausted. Brett's got the Crimson Mask going on. It's like okay, yeah, this is really good. Kind of gross though, because eventually that blood starts going everywhere, including Piper.
Oh yeah,
right. Well, and the thing is, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of either of these guys, but even I was like on the edge of my seat during this bit because like it goes so beautifully from like kind of amateur wrestling stuff at the beginning with like sort of rolling around on the mat, and then it just escalates into this fucking brawl, and it works really, really well.
And there's not a dramatic total shift anywhere.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Which is a nice flow.
But now it's time for a ref bump. While the ref is out, Roddy gets a timekeeper's bell and has a Cena WrestleMania 30 struggle with should I hit him and take the easy way out?
Should I do the thing?
Or should I not? He decides to not do the thing, go for the clean win instead. He slaps on the sleeper hold. Brett counters this to pin, and he wins the Intercontinental Championship in about 14 minutes.
And this felt like a big like WrestleMania match.
It did.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm kind of weird about is that Roddy does not fight the pin at all. Like, Roddy doesn't kick his legs or anything. Yeah. But fucking fantastic match. Lots of great moments on this one. It moves a little bit too slow for a little bit too long at the beginning. Mm-hmm. There are a few too many botches for this to truly be a 5, because I'm the stingiest motherfucker in the world. This is an extraordinarily high 4.
Huh.
Ryan.
I gave it a 3 out of 5, purely because
because you are a shitbird.
Right, because I'm a shitbird, but also because it was a collection of cool things that didn't really tell a story. Like,
what?
Okay, look.
You're lucky. You're lucky. You are 6 hours away by plane ride. I would come and kick your ass.
Because the thing is, okay, there were cool, like, there were definite portions of the match that you could look at. Like, okay, here's the beginning with the rolling around in the amateur wrestling. Here's the bit where they fuck up going over the rope. Here's the bit where they fuck up again constantly. And then it's the two of them kind of brawling. And then should I hit them with the bell? No, I guess I won't. Roll up pin, and then it felt like. If this was a story, it was a very chaotic story. I think Bret Hart, again.
I could okay. To be fair, I could walk through the Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man match and talk about it the exact way that you just did, and make it sound like that.
I mean, okay.
Boom.
Wait. Are you saying that there's a subjective standard for these matches, and it's entirely on the person who's weird? Also, the fact that. I don't know, like, I loved it because, like, again, it did feel like a huge match, but there were too many botches for me. Piper can't really wrestle, and you can only turn so much shit into gold. But there was some really good stuff, so 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Well, I gave this one a 4 out of 5. Because of the various reasons stated already, because I went last.
Ryan, you know I love you.
Yep.
I don't love you at all.
No, there we go. See, I will acknowledge I'm kind of a dick when it comes to wrestlers I don't like, and I'm not as gracious as I should
Specifically
be.
Bret Hart.
Cannot
wait to talk about WrestleMania 12.
Oh, it's going to be awesome, because it's
Bobby Heenan.
The great debate.
Yep.
So, Roddy takes the belt back from the ref, hands it to Bret, helps him up, and the two make out in the ring.
I was going to say, they literally just give each other a handy in front of God and everyone. It is heartwarming.
Bobby Heenan welcomes us to Lex Luger, the next WBF champion. Scooter, what's a WBF?
It's the Wrestling Bodybuilding Federation. Sorry.
Close.
World Bodybuilding Federation. I don't know why I said wrestling first.
Which was something Vince cooked up that was the XFL before the XFL.
Because he's like, hey, wait a second. I like really big dudes, and I can't have big dudes in wrestling anymore because I just got popped for steroids.
Yep.
So now that if it's built into it, I can look at all the big dudes I want.
And I can come in my pants and I can give them gimmicks.
Also, when there
was
was
bodybuilding's gimmicks. Bodybuilding with gimmicks.
I know,
it
right?
spat in the face of both wrestling fans and bodybuilding fans.
I really want to believe that during the court hearings about the steroid use, I want to believe that Vince McMahon just did the Vince McMahon voice in court.
It would be amazing.
Just like, did you have any knowledge?
But look at the mass.
Mr. McMahon, did you have any knowledge of steroids being distributed amongst your wrestlers? Never in my life.
They're independent contractors. They're not employees.
Yeah, like Attitude Era Vince McMahon.
It would be beautiful. Also, Lex Luger is a black hole of charisma.
A little bit.
He is a collapsed fucking star of charisma.
So this would lead us also to the Ico Pro. Do you guys remember the banners that said Ico Pro everywhere on early editions of Raw, like 93 to 95?
Yes.
Not really, because I didn't watch Raw back then.
Oh, there you go.
Well, aren't you a jerk off? The Ico Pro, or Integrated Conditioning Program, was the line of supplements that somebody else developed and Vince sold for him.
Later on, it would become Stacker 2 during the late 90s.
Really?
Well, in terms of
No.
product hawked constantly during
Fair enough.
Well, the only thing they could sell during the Attitude Era was like, yeah, we have a lot of viewers, but the only people that will buy into this demographic is fucking Stridex.
Exactly. And now it's Diet Mountain Dew, so what are you going to do?
It's very true. It's not as
Worst
bad
Diet
as like...
Oh, God.
Like, they're drinking Diet Dew, and they have like a Diet Dew commercial, but unlike the pay-per-views now, it's not as bad as like what WCW did, where they had like the company's logo on their mat, like
Right.
Snickers.
Because that's what boxing did, and we're like, if boxing can do it, we can do it.
I mean, WCW had to make up the money somewhere.
Right.
They didn't, but they tried.
The great thing is looking at
So-
like JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry Lawler with like 3 bottles of Diet Mountain Dew that you can tell have not been opened the entire night and will probably be thrown
At
away.
all. Lex calls Monsoon fat. Lex has a gimmick already as a bodybuilder. I am sure the WBF was glorious. He keeps calling it. He keeps calling it a plethora, as opposed to a plethora.
Plethora.
It's just plethora. And then he has a scantily clad woman come and bring him on a silver tray. Ryan?
A wine glass filled with milk.
Go mad. Fucking,
I just want to believe that off camera this man is just constantly drinking milk, just sucking that shit down.
You know, like, there's like 8 more women lined up behind him. So he just chugs down a gallon. He does like a gallon of milk an hour or something.
He's just sucking milk out of the cow. Don't look at me!
2,400 calories an hour, brother. So we find out there is an 8-man tag match coming up, and I start weeping.
God
Yeah,
damn.
Atomicos. This is the wrong kind of Atomicos, though. Because, oh my god, I hate the Nasty Boys.
Yeah, oh,
The
they're
Mountie,
so
the
bad.
Nasty Boys, and the Repo Man are a little too amped in their backstage segment.
A little bit.
Did you like the Repo Man coming in to the room, like sneaking?
With his Hamburglar mask.
Yes.
I
my God.
honestly, I like their promo better than the face promo because at least they had some energy, as opposed to.
They had way too much in it. They took it from the fucking faces.
Well,
That's
and
what
the Nasty Boys are like the malto meal bag cereal version
Well,
of
I like
of
Skaggs.
Road
He's like whatever the other Nasty Boy without the tooth. I can't think of his name right now. He's like shadow boxing, and Skaggs is just shaking, wagging his finger, and just shaking.
Just
Like, what the hell's going on?
the
screaming.
Nasty Boys are the Malto Meal bag cereal of tag teams.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. But how are you? Fuck.
And also, everyone in this promo is continuing to do the what do you want to do with your life thing from the Twisted Sister videos, where they're just constantly screaming. And the thing about it is, okay, so screaming during wrestling promos. Macho Man Randy Savage was a really loud guy during promos, but also he held your attention because he would bring it back down, and he would start screaming. And
Let me tell you something, brother.
There was like
The
tension
madness is running wild.
There was like tension and resolution to like Macho's promos, and then these guys are just like, I'm gonna scream at top volume all the time, and it's not as bad as like the Zeus Macho Sherry Martel behind a cage promo, which was
No,
oh my God,
nothing
amazing.
is as good as that.
also the greatest promo
No
I've ever
holds
seen.
barred! No holds barred!
They're just constantly screaming. It is beautiful.
Love that. Hey, Sergeant Slaughter's is on the face team.
Again,
What happened there?
He wants his country back.
Magic.
That's what.
He wants his country back.
I want my country back.
He would.
And the country was
he
like,
would cut
we've been
promos.
seeing other people, Sergeant. I listen.
He cut promos next to American landmarks and flags, begging for forgiveness. So, yeah, he's faced now. Virgil has a fucking carny mask on
Why?
Because apparently
Why?
Sid broke his nose.
by slamming it into an exposed turnbuckle.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
Something like that.
I was like, okay, Virgil's a gimp. Who gives a shit?
Broke his nose on, like, the main event or something. So, Ray Combs introduces us to the 8 guys, neither of which get introductions, so we can let Combs talk.
Go.
Mountie, who doesn't know the meaning of the word fear, or a lot of other words,
I kind of like some of these quips. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah, but
does the work of 3 men, Larry, Curly, and Mo. It is pretty funny.
ha-cha-cha. During this, I think the only note I had was, thank God Ray Combs is here. Like, why Ray Combs? Of all the fucking people. Like, who knows?
You know, there's a quadruple clothesline that starts off this match.
As you do.
How does... Wait, really? I forgot.
Yes.
I think I blocked out this match. How does that
The
even work?
4 faces join hands and skip lovingly towards the heels and take them all down with a quadruple clothesline.
Surely that's a good thing, right?
One of the nasties tries to ho and gets booed. Duggan shows him how it's done and gets punched in the head. Monsoon says,
So say we all.
The only thing I can really comment about this match, because it was god awful,
Yeah.
was you can still see Brett's fresh blood all over the place.
Yeah, the ring is like freckled with Bret Hart's fucking recently
I think
spilled
that
blood.
probably that blood probably had the most talent out of anybody in this match, except maybe the Boss Man. Because Boss Man's alright.
when Duggan does his hoe and gets punched in the back of the head, what does Monsoon say?
Too many hoes? Was it?
One too many hoes.
One too many hoes.
Oh.
A more innocent time, clearly.
But oh my god,
It's-
some point, one of the nasties working over Slaughter, and he gets the upper hand. He tags in the Boss Man, and oh my god, the big boot Boss Man gives. You can't really see it because of the shitty. It's kind of a far away camera angle, but he takes I think it's Skaggs. Yeah, he takes Skaggs' head off with a big boot. And it's brilliant.
Yeah, Bossman is actually kind of underrated, I think.
Yeah, Boss Man is really limber for someone who as massive as that guy.
But like for a fucking Haas wrestler, like he's
Yeah.
pretty. He's pretty
I always kind of like poo-pooed the Boss Man because I didn't really watch him work because he just had a kind of shitty gimmick and was really fat, but he's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
This
Also, he got
podcast,
hanged. Also, he got hanged by the Undertaker that one time.
He did.
this podcast has made me kind of a mark for the Boss Man.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
Decent gut breaker by Slaughter. Bossman winds up a punch for a week and a half. Never
He
forget.
does.
Never.
It's cartoon physics.
Repo Man jumps up and down on Bossman. The third time, Bossman turns around, right quick, and holds his fist up.
Gets punched
That's
in the
kinda
hearts.
A fucking slapstick.
Duggan starts chanting USA.
Cause.
No one else in this ring is American, you see.
Well, see, my favorite, I've
There's
seen
like
clips,
the Mountie, but
I've seen
the
clips
fuck?
of Duggan wrestling people, and he'll get them starting chanting USA against an American heel, and the heel's just like, "What are you people talking about? I'm American
I'm
too."
from Detroit.
like the heel will be like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. You're from fucking Michigan. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Well, actually,
but-
during this, right before the kerfuffle, fucking Virgil pulls off a really sweet drop kick. I was
It's
not
the one move he
expecting
can do.
it.
He can do that and a punch.
And a crossbody.
So-
Kinda.
The fun thing with Duggan, the WWE Network has recently sucked me into a program by the name of Legends House.
Oh, good.
On Legends House, Jim Duggan is assigned to play golf cart polo. And after his team scores a goal, he begins chanting very loudly, USA. USA.
Good.
So clearly he was the ambassador for the United States during this period. Internationally recognized.
It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. But it is schmoz time as everybody pours into the ring. Virgil's mask gets ripped off. The Nasties try and slap him with it because it doesn't matter what it's made of. It's an outside object, so it will deal tons of damage.
I love wrestling physics, by the way.
He pins, he ducks. The other Nasty gets hit with it. He pins it, despite the Mountie being the legal man. The match was...
Short enough.
It was 6.5 minutes. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Scooter?
Kind of like what you say there. It's like it was only like 5 minutes long. I really don't like most of the workers who are in this match, but they kind of like, because it was an 8-man tag, you didn't have to see them that much, and there were some pretty cool moves done by some all right guys. So I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, Ryan?
Fuck this match, 1 out of 5. I can't say anything nice about it. And I think it's just because, like, immediately it was like 8-man tag match, so which already puts me in a foul fucking mood. And then I looked at the
because you've been
participants.
walking the wrong 8-man tag matches. I'll show you some awesome Atomico matches later.
See, there you go. You got to hit me to this stuff. I would love to see an 8-man tag match that doesn't make me want to fucking gouge my own eyes out with a melon ball.
Oh, don't worry.
Let's watch all of the Survivor Series, you guys.
Good. No, don't even kid about anything like that.
I gave it a 2 out of 5. Was not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, it's not the worst thing
But
I've
of
ever
course,
seen.
Ryan has to literally shit on all matches.
On everything. The thing is, it's not...
Remember, like, WrestleMania 2, where you started handing out 5s before everybody else?
Because that was delirious.
I guarantee you, at some point, Ryan's brain's gonna fry and start giving 7 out of 3s.
George Washington out of space, and I'm just fucking delirious and out of my mind about matches. And again,
You gave something like a 5 out of 5. It was fucking random. I think Marty and I both gave it like a 2 out of 5. And you were also
No, it was like a 3 or a 4.
I can't remember, but you maybe that's what it was. You were shitting on the match the entire time we were talking about it.
Yeah, and you
then
gave
you're
it a
like
4.
5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.
Yeah, well, there was a 4 out of 5, I remember. It was something with Bret Hart that I was like, yeah, fuck this match, 4 out of 5.
It was the Hart Foundation versus the Funks.
Yeah, there you go.
At WrestleMania 2. And, yeah, you were like, this match was just fucking shit. And then we get through it, and you're like, yeah, 4 out of 5. And we're like, what?
Well, I think it's like that thing. Like, you can watch a movie that makes you personally unhappy, but you can acknowledge the technical things that were good about it.
Except you stopped doing that.
Right.
Sean Mooney, backstage with Perfect and Flair.
All right.
Yeah.
Monsoon says, let's take you back to Sean Mooney. And Heenan says, why? That's a good question.
Beautiful. Fucking, you beautiful angel of the Lord. It's great.
Flair puts over the WWF title pretty well. It is this is the real championship.
Fuck you, WCW. I'll see you in 6 months.
Flair,
Keep my seat warm for me.
Flair says Liz has one more shot at Space Mountain. Perfect asks if he can come along to Space Mountain.
I really wanted him to
Space
start
Mountain
berating
his
Mr.
penis?
Perfect. Like, no, you can't come to Space Mountain.
That's my dick. You fucking. We cut over to Mean Gene, who explains that the Macho Man is angry.
Which is like, he always seems to do this. Like, Macho Man, that seems to happen at like WrestleManias, is where he'll just get super pissed and deny any interviews. Because he did this at WrestleMania 5? Yeah, 5.
Oh, with
when
the
he was
dressing
like,
room.
because he just refused to see anybody, and now he's doing it again.
True. Randy Savage versus the current WWF World Heavyweight Champion.
My work rate
Ric
boner's
Flair.
going off.
Right?
Yes. In the middle of the pay-per-view.
There's just
It's mind-boggling.
perfect
How
about-
is this not a marquee match that you basically don't even bother having any of these matches. Let these guys wrestle for 3 hours.
Yeah, and you've been double billing this with Hogan versus some schmuck.
Sid fucking Justice.
Yeah.
There's something about Flair coming out in a sparkly robe and Heenan marking out for him.
Yes.
At WrestleMania.
It's beautiful.
But what the fuck is this entrance music?
It wasn't the...
I don't know.
It's not his normal thing.
It's not the
It's not-
Zarathustra.
Whatever the thing from that one movie.
Yeah,
That I can't think
it's
of the
not
piece.
that.
Space Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that. Big pop for Macho, of course. Macho attacks Rick on the outside, starts beating him. Perfect pulls him off and helps him back to the ring. I'm pretty jazzed because we have 2 great performers in the ring. They are not tired after wrestling 6 other matches in the night.
Mm-hmm.
They do not have a stupid fucking hood on their head to make them blind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick gives Macho a back body drop to the outside. Macho, like, sails out there.
It was beautiful. I was like, that man
He's
just
just
flew
flying.
down
down to hell. Like, that was
Yes,
just...
he
Nope,
did.
that man is dead now. His
He
planet
gets
needs him.
so much height. I think, like, 3 matches are disqualified in WCW. Remember that? When you got disqualified if you threw somebody over the top rope?
No, I don't remember
In
that.
WCW?
That's hilarious.
Or if you pile drove somebody? Or if you gave somebody a powerbomb? Yeah.
Lol. Or if you were Kevin
Or
Nash
if
and
it
did your
did like a
jackknife.
body slam? Or if you, like, stepped too hard on the ring? I don't know.
Yeah, WCW had some weird rules because they had really like old guys like running it, booking it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
Yeah.
none of this flippy and floppy shit.
Only rest holds. Any move but a rest hold is disqualification.
You immediately get a 90-day suspension and a $50,000 fine.
Right, as we know.
You know, Flair just... He starts wooing at the crowd, and he actually gets a few woos back.
He does.
This is before the era when if anyone saw a knife edge chop, you would automatically woo.
Yeah,
Right.
he kept doing the knife edge chop and nobody was wooing, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you mouth breathers? And then realized,
Because
like,
this
oh,
is before he
right.
was like I mean, he was an icon at this point, but this is before he became like an real icon.
a recognized huge fucking titan of the sport.
You know, Flair is in control for a really long time here. Savage finally starts firing back. Flair takes his "hey, throw me off the top rope" spot. He gets a Flair flop.
Like
runs
I
to
want
the
to
other
say like
turnbuckle.
Macho gets a handful of Rick's crotch doing that. Hey, throw me
Yeah.
off the. It's just like
Yeah.
whoop.
Just palming it. It was great.
After the Flair flop, he runs to the other turnbuckle, jumps off, and gets clotheslined. It is the loudest reaction.
People
I've
are
ever
on
heard for a
fucking
two-count.
fire for this match. Oh my god! Because like it combined the title and the like a store like a really kind of like mark like a I don't want to say landmark because it's kind of a shitty soap opera, but like it's an actual like good wrestling storyline, and we don't get those too often.
Yeah,
So
it's believable.
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, there's a coherent narrative for this match.
so people were like,
Suplex.
"Oh my god!"
Suplex on the outside to Flair. Rick starts bleeding profusely because Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Because he took a
Perfect
step.
pulls Savage out of the ring after the elbow drop and pin. And then Perfect tosses the brass knuckles to Ric Flair.
They were almost like padded.
punches-
It was weird looking. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were taped up.
Yeah.
Rick punches Savage, and Savage manages to kick out. Perfect hits Savage in the knee with a chair while the ref is distracted, and here comes Elizabeth.
And
And-
yeah, we thought the crowd was hot. Now they really, for some reason, people just love seeing Elizabeth make her run-ins because they were like losing her shit.
I think
this
everybody,
year and last year.
like everybody shipped Macho Elizabeth during this period. I think,
Well, because they were married, you can't really shit people who were like
like
The,
canon.
the interesting
if people are
thing,
if people are already canon, you can totally ship them.
whatever.
the interesting thing about like her entrance here is she has taken off the lampshade
Right.
because she's coming out to support Macho Man, and there are like 3 or 4 dudes around her telling her, "Go away," and she is still coming out.
Wow. So she actually demonstrated any kind
She
of
is
agency.
she is defying authority figures.
Ah,
Mm.
that's weird. Like she normally doesn't. What do you call it? Make decisions
Ooh.
or have any agency over anything.
Ric Flair hits, God, every knee breaker he hits.
Yep.
Because he's setting up for his figure 4, and it's fucking fucking brilliant.
Oh,
and then
so
then
great.
he hits it.
Yep.
Savage eventually reverses the figure four. Earl Hebner kicks Perfect's hands away as he tries to help out Rick.
No.
No.
Rick sees Liz at ringside and says, "It's for you, baby! Woo!"
Yeah, as he keeps slapping him, it's like, this is all for you. All for
Legend.
you.
It was great.
Rick starts beating on Savage's knee. Savage schoolboys him for the 3 in 18 minutes, and the crowd fucking erupts.
Yep.
Oh, it's so hard. Like, they're just done after this.
I didn't even realize it was 18 minutes. That's how good this match was.
Oh, yeah. Rick, distraught, attempts to woo Liz now that the match is over.
Wait, woo
He
her
kissed-
as in, like, play
No,
play his
like,
trade with
actually
her?
just, like, woo her.
Oh, okay, like, actually scream woo
Not
at her.
woo!
Okay.
Now that the match is over, he kisses her, uninvitedly, and Liz starts hitting him. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. She did a
Good.
thing.
They still beat up Savage anyway. Jump cut to Flair walking away. The audio changes pretty drastically. Kind of weird there. I think I'm gonna get shit on by both of you here. 1 out of 5. No, the match has a really great second half. The story is front and center.
Yep.
It is handled very well by 2 performers. The crowd are fucking into it. It's just not quite what I expected from Savage and
Flair.
Right. If this had been at the end of the card, maybe. If there had been maybe a little bit more, because, you know, they're not exactly known for their innovative offense or anything, but I would have liked to seen a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm really on the fence with this one, and it hurts because I really want to, but I cannot justify a 5 on this one.
Yeah, I actually agree. I gave it a 4 out of 5 purely because, like, it felt like such a huge build-up that, like, where do you take that? Schoolboy pin! And, like, I don't know, that felt like a...
That's a big part of it.
Yeah. Like, they you know, had so much psychology and, like, build-up, and then it didn't really go anywhere. And then also, there were a few spots in this that were kind of shaky, and, like, I would have loved to have given it a 5 out of 5, but for how long it went on, it wasn't quite a 5 out of 5. But it was still a great match. Like, I would still recommend this match to somebody if I were trying to get them into Ric Flair.
Scooter.
Fuck y'all motherfuckers. I give this bitch a 5.
Yeah!
I know, I already had it down for you.
That's so fair. No, that's the thing. I'm like, yeah. That makes sense.
Because I like, this match hooked me, and I was like, when it ended and the fireworks were going off, I'm like, why the fuck didn't this go on last? Like,
Right.
Like, it's just like, okay, I don't even want to watch this. That's WrestleMania. That's all you fucking need. And the rest of this card can go fuck itself. Because honestly, there's nothing that really good that happens after it.
You are
if this had been the end
correct.
of WrestleMania, I would have been very happy.
Yeah, you're completely right. And also, the other thing that I thought was interesting about this, because of course it's Ric Flair, so like he gets a gallon of milk out of the fridge in the morning, he starts bleeding. He can't swim without just gushing blood out of his dick, and the guy is constantly bleeding. And the funny thing about this is that, of course, during this period there was how much, Marty, penalty for bleeding?
Not
$500.
$50,000,
Right,
but it was
not $1,000.
$500.
And so apparently, and I researched this, 2 people bladed during this WrestleMania: Bret Hart and Ric Flair. Bret Hart was more subtle about his blade job. Ric Flair, if you watch it, you can see him blading.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it.
Oh yeah, he like stands up and he like talks to the person.
Oh,
in front
my
of him,
head.
Hey, can you help me here?
Yeah. Like, I mean,
Like gets a fan to do it. For him.
and the idea is that when he got thrown into the rails, it cut him open when he hit his head on a flat, kind of smooth surface.
Yeah.
So I did think that's kind of fucked up that Ric Flair got fined and Bret Hart didn't. But I think it was just like, listen, blading is fine, just don't be fucking obvious about it.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
fuck it.
Mooney goes backstage with Flair and Perfect. Okay. Jane with Macho and Liz. Gene says, you won by cheating, but you had a handful of tights. Savage is like, so what? I only took a piece of you. I want the whole nature boy, yeah. I want the whole Flair package.
Well, I loved. We kind of zoomed past it, but like Ric Flair's promo, I really dug, because like Perfect and Heenan are just flipping their shit. Just like, oh my god, this is a travesty. And the entire time Ric Flair is just staring.
Yep.
Into the camera.
Crazy.
And he's just waiting.
Blood
just
all
like,
over his face.
Just like, and then he finally gets the mic and he just goes fucking off.
Looking like Strawberry Shortcake's creepy fucking uncle. Just
Well, that was just really cool about Flair's bleach blonde hair is how the blood like kind of soaked into it. It just like
It
makes
when
him
he
look
would
like
bleed,
Eva
just kind of
Marie.
had to give this like weird, cool effect.
Yeah, because he looks like a toilet brush just covered in blood. It's amazing.
Very true. So we go to the
Wait. Well,
press
also,
conference.
before we move on, I'd like to point out when they did the, he grabbed the tights thing. Was anybody else uncomfortable with how lovingly the camera panned across Ric Flair's butt crack?
Nope.
Oh,
I was very happy with that.
very good. Okay.
The press conference. Jack Tunney names the number one contender for the title. And they're all like sitting there waiting. And he goes, Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan stands up and goes, yes!
And everyone's just like, oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
And Sid like rips the paper in half.
No.
Oh man. So in a tag match on main event, Sid says fuck you Hogan and walks away. On the barbershop, Sid chair shots the window, breaks the set. They showed Sid Justice messing up some jobbers, and Virgil, who cares?
Yeah.
Trying to make us care about the main event.
And
Like,
failing.
this is like, why couldn't this gone like this has been perfectly acceptable in the middle of the show? Why are we building up to this thing now?
Because Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Tatanka versus Martel.
Rick Martel's accent is unfucking placeable.
It's great.
I
isn't
love
it?
it.
We get a dance from the Lumbee Indians from Tatanka's home tribe in North Carolina. Martel is told that Tatanka plans to make this Martel's last stand. Martel says he has some, and then he pulls down his glasses and says, reservations about that.
And then he makes a scalping joke about tickets.
Yes, he does. He does make a
God.
scalping joke.
Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
At least the bad guy is being
Yeah,
racist.
that's what I was going to say. It was
So-
like, well, at least this guy wasn't hugely over with the fans, and also,
Like, he's the bad guy. So the bad guy, the guy you don't like, is the one promoting racism.
You see, which is also the reason that
That's-
Glenn Beck was mad at Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger a couple of years ago.
Because they were bad guys?
Yeah, because they were bad guys and also immigration and racist.
Yeah. Fuck you, Glenn Beck. I hope Glenn Beck listens to our show. Can we have Glenn Beck on?
Oh my god.
As a
Yes.
guest?
Can we
just have-
debate with
Oh my
Glenn
god,
Beck?
that'd be amazing.
Can we have Glenn-
How many times would he cry?
Can we have Glenn Beck marking out over Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
I would love that. Dude, I would watch WrestleMania 2 again to hear Glenn Beck.
Like with Colonel Kirshner?
Corporal
Corporal
That was
Kirshner.
amazing. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This just reminds
weeping.
So,
Just weeping.
Tatanka, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Gorilla reminds us he's a real Native American.
Oh.
Was that them
They just
trying to
keep
be like,
a real Native American, you guys.
what?
He's not-
Like
he's
a
not
fucking
cheap.
unicorn.
He's not Chief J. Strongbow, who's some Italian dude they put the headdress and gave a bow and arrow to.
Jesus Christ.
Tatanka, Tatanka is a Lakota word meaning bull buffalo, and yes, he is from the Lumbee tribe.
He is a First
in,
Nations guy.
North America. What is he to call him? It's like, where'd those lumpy Indians go?
I
Yep,
swear
lumpy.
to God. Although, again, the thing is, at least this pay-per-view, and no pay-per-view going forward can be more racist than
Then seven.
7.
Nothing.
Nothing ever will be that.
Toyota. Toyota.
Song of the South was not as racist as WrestleMania 7.
Tatanka is undefeated at this point. He will not lose even in a house show match until later this year, and then by countout, to Martel. Spoilers. When I was a kid, by the way, I really liked Tatanka for some reason.
Yeah, there you go. He's not bad.
You know.
Heenan
He's just
cannot
kinda
get
lumpy.
over Flair losing.
He really
Monsoon
can't. He's
tells
just
him
his day
not-
is dead.
He tells him not to jump.
This kills the man. Yeah, no, and then Heenan starts freaking out, and he's like, put him up, and he's like challenging Monsoon to a fight on commentary. That's what I want. I want my commentators to be locked in a blood feud.
Yup.
Just constantly
Monsoon
screaming.
corrects Heenan's incorrect facts on the Native Americans. I feel like did you greet him? He's like, yeah, I said hi to him. Did you greet him the traditional way? What the? Did you go, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
And he kept saying how like
do that.
It's like, hey, I guess they're on they're only 300 miles from here to go get back. They're like about the Lumpy Indians. It's like they're only 300. They need to go 300 miles to get back home. Monsoon's like, what are you talking about? They're from North Carolina. It's like, no, they're going to Cleveland. The Cleveland Indians. It's like all they need is some good pitching.
And then Monsoon is like, will you stop?
I kind of almost feel like the commentary team is actually trying to dismantle some of the dumb Native American stereotypes that a lot of the audience, such as youngsters like myself at the time, would have learned from racist depictions in Looney Tunes.
Right. Well, I mean, like, generally
I
during this
could
period,
be way off.
if there was a depiction of a Native American during this period, it was probably fucked up and shitty and racist. So, like, having an actually Lakota guy, you know.
So I kind of like that part about this. That being said, this match is really boring to Tonka sucks.
Yep.
A little bit.
Chop.
Like, he's not horrible, but he's not... It's nothing to write home about.
He's horrible. Tatanka hits a high cross body in 4.5 minutes in the piss break match.
He's okay as the undercard, which is what he is.
Yeah.
And probably stayed.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's a very strong 2.
Yep. I completely agree with that assessment, Marty.
Yeah, I also gave it a 2.
All right, then.
Moving right along.
That's all needs to be said about Tanaka and the model Martel.
And which, by the way, I really...
Probably.
See, I really need a giant novelty spray bottle with arrogance on it.
Yes.
I just want that on my desk on public display.
Sean Mooney interviews Money Incorporated. They make some money puns, and then they say they're going to win. Which,
I'd like to point out, it's the most confusing stable ever, because, like, wait a minute, so he's a millionaire partnering up with an evil
with a tax
guy?
Actually, that does make a lot of sense if you look at American, like, economics.
Well, yeah, but, like, in general, if it's, like, a guy who's, like, you have to pay your taxes, generally rich people are not like, hell yeah. Usually it's like, I fucking hate taxes.
Well, it does make sense wrestling-wise, because people hate rich people, and people hate tax guys.
So if you're so they're like evil money dudes. That's yeah.
And IRS is probably protecting the $1 million man from any kind of like tax fraud.
Right.
Charges.
So, wrestling logic is almost as great as wrestling physics.
Yep.
Gene gets to interview the natural disasters. No one knows why.
I was going to say, like, may we never speak of it.
We're going to punch you! Money Incorporated with Jimmy Hart versus the natural disasters. Heenan gets angry at a woman holding a natural disaster sign. He says
I would be too, because fucking tugboat.
Yeah.
He says that she should be at home washing the dishes and calls her a bimbo.
Jesus Christ.
As IRS is trying to get out of the ring, Tugjob steps on his tie to keep him in. I like that. Tugjob botches flying over the top rope. Then Tugboat and DiBiase clothesline each other as they fight to stay awake.
Yep.
This is just...
I really wanted to like it because I love Ted DiBiase.
Ted DiBiase's great. Earthquake's okay. I hate his finisher. Rotunda's pretty cool too. It's just Tugboat sucks so much.
Yeah, he was really the albatross around everyone's neck that was just dragging them like down the entire match.
It's like you're only paired with Earthquake because you're a fat dude.
Exactly.
Earthquake gives his tantrum, goes for the flying droopy butthole, but Hart pulls IRS out and they start leaving.
Hey, have I told you how much I hate that finish?
Yes. I believe we discussed in depth how much we all kind of hate the flying droopy butthole of
the flying whoopsie.
Yeah.
As the OSW you guys call it.
The whoopee cushion, but without the motivation. Like a really bored whoopee cushion.
The champs get counted out in 8.5 minutes into the match, losing the match but keeping the belts. Fuck you finish at WrestleMania. Fairly boring stuff all around. Yep. Ryan, I already know what you gave it. What'd you give?
1.
Yep.
It was stupid.
Scooter.
I really did not like this match at all, and I almost fell asleep. I gave this one a 1 out of 5.
Uh-huh.
This match was shit. It is my only one of the evening.
Wait, this is the only one? Okay, alright.
This is the first pay-per-view with IRS. Well, this is the first WrestleMania with IRS, Mike Rotunda, who would go on to father a current WWE superstar.
2, actually.
The Bay. Well, yeah, too. Bo Dallas.
Two.
Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
The 2 prettiest men in the
I
WWE.
don't know about that one.
Dude, I marked the fuck out for Bo Dallas. I fucking love
Bo Dallas is amazing. Like,
Bo Dallas
I feel
is
bad
pretty
for Bo Dallas because, like, down in NXT, like when he won the title from Big E, the people at Full Sail like stood up in their chairs and turned their back to him because they were so sick of Bo Dallas, the face Bo Dallas. Yeah, but during his title reign, they slowly kind of tweaked it to where he is like this shitty like motivational guy where he's just like, I'm the face, cheer me, but it was obviously he was the heel. He was a heel, just didn't realize what alignment he was, and it was kind of awesome.
No, I love that actually. That like he's like you've seen Little Miss Sunshine, right?
Yes.
He's like the dad, like Greg Kinnear from Little Miss Sunshine with the inspirational bullshit. Only like this is a guy who's completely convinced that he is the good guy, but also he is unbearable.
And yeah, he's just like, everyone just loves me, right? And everyone's just like, fuck you, Bo Dallas.
I love that they made T-shirts.
He had an awesome, like, he lost to Sami, I almost called him El Generico. Sami Zayn at an NXT show like a couple months ago before he came up to the main roster, and he desperately wanted to stay on NXT. But Gordon's stipulation is if he lost it, he had to leave. Mm-hmm. And what preceded was the best Keystone Cops thing with the where security was corralling him out of the building and he kept trying to get back in and he got into like a shitty golf cart on the Full Sail campus and in mid-transit he jumped off and started running back to the arena.
Oh my god. And I love that they had the t-shirts like instead of like Bo leave it was Bo, leave.
Bo leave.
Bo leave.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Bo leave,
Thanks,
please.
Brian. Gene and Brutus, the Barber Beef Kid. Where did his pants go?
Who could?
He is missing half of his.
Well,
pants.
he is a stripper, Martin. A stripper barber.
That's true. Brutus mentions that he has been both top and bottom with Hulk Hogan.
He has topped and bottomed for Hogan.
I like a whole bunch of innuendo.
Hulk is a very giving man.
I've seen Hogan on high and I've seen him on the down low. Like, oh. Interesting.
I basically for this one just wrote, "Hey, where's Poochie?"
Anytime we're not talking about Hulk Hogan, we should be talking about Hulk Hogan.
Where's Poochie?
Yep.
The Rocket, Owen Hart.
What?
Yeah.
What is Owen's outfit? Holy shit!
He looks like a clown.
It is 1992. That's what it is.
It was beautiful.
He looked like a damn clown.
It was great.
He backflips into the ring and Skinner headbutts him.
Yep.
Which, I like that spot.
Yeah.
Friends do not let friends wrestle in khakis.
No.
But Owen shows us that what most people think is 80s attire is actually 90s.
Oddly enough. Which, I mean, late 80s, early 90s, kind of the same decade.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
No one really gives two shits about this match, but Owen gets a little pop for skinning the cat, and then he rolls up Skinner for the 3 in just over a minute.
And I love that he skinned the cat in a match with Skinner.
I know, right?
I thought it was funny.
There is nothing that happens in this match.
Yep, it's a quick little minute and a half.
Owen does do a backflip, so 3.
Wait, you're not serious? Actual 3?
I totally am.
Jesus
Christ. Then, there's no way to judge it.
Yeah, it's not a match.
Yeah.
It's not a match.
It's
a squash. It's a glorified squash.
It's not even really a squash.
Well, the problem is, it was kind of a victim of circumstance, because the other matches went long, and so they just straight up ran out of time, and so all they had was 2 minutes to go out and do their match.
And you know what?
So that's why.
Let's not take any minutes away from fucking Sid.
Oh no, can't do that. And you know
Not
the thing is,
bit.
I haven't used this phrase since WrestleMania 2, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. This was a fart in the bathtub.
Forgot about that phrase.
Right, it was there for no reason. Like, oh, okay, cool. Owen Hart versus Skinner.
Owen dropkicks Skinner after the match.
Because why not?
After winning.
Because
I guess Skinner was coming at him.
but the
It's coming
shitty
around
camera work, you
Forrest.
can't see it. So
Yeah. During the replay, Heenan tries to find a reason to give Owen shit or take away from his victory. But he's like, handful of tights! Of course he doesn't, but it's just great.
Yep.
What'd you guys think?
I mean, like, yeah, I kind of see it was fine. It was a minute and a half. Owen got to show off a backflip and getting the cat, so I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Yes! Yes!
You're both mad. I gave it a 2 out of 5. Just because, like, yeah, there was a funny backflip, but this was, I mean, like, I felt weird giving this match a rating out of 5. This was not a match. This was, like, the warm-up to the main event.
Right.
It was like a promo with moving around more than usual promos. So, yeah,
Sure.
So, then we move on to Gene and Sid. And Sid tells him, "Shut up, you fat little oaf."
He did.
Sid, yeah.
We get Inception, a promo within a promo. So, we get to Hogan and Vince. And Vince is sitting with him as they're cuddling, and he says, "Is this the last time we're going to see you step into the ring?" And I said, "Please?"
Oh, God, please.
Nope, we still got about 10 more years.
Hogan does not scream. It would have been great if Vince was like, "So, Hulk, let me ask you, is this the last time we're going to see you step into the ring?"
Hell yeah, brother!
Well, you know something, Vince! Hogan cuts a half-decent promo that almost gets me behind him.
Almost.
Vince tongues his shitter and thanks him for the memories and inspiration and Hulkamania.
He tongue
And
punches
then they
Hulk
tongue
Hogan's
kiss.
fart box.
And then they tongue kiss each other. Back to Gene! And Sid goes, "I don't give a damn!" And then we go to the match.
Woo!
Fink shows disgust as he introduces Harvey Whippleman. They would later have a match.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Really? Can we watch that one?
I hope not. Sid gets some music, but you can't really hear it. It sounds like a drum beat and a guitar falling over.
Yerp.
Roadie Run entrance for Hulk.
Someone aggressively tunes a guitar while Sid Vicious stomps down to the ring.
That's very true. Sid attacks Hogan during his music, and it keeps playing his music.
I almost like, turn it off. I can't find the button. Turn it off.
So I did a little research
Uh-oh.
Oh.
into like, well, because it's like it doesn't like you can't hear anything, even the crowd, and the music just keeps going, even like almost a minute into the match. That's because that Hogan got the exact same pop Sid did, which was nothing. The crowd came out and they did not care, and so WWE's like, well, we gotta fix this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yup.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like so from 1985 to 1992, you mean people had started getting kind of fucking bored?
It's amazing.
Indeed.
Weird.
So, they eventually stop his fucking music. Heenan says, "This is WrestleMania at its best." It is not.
It is not.
They repeat the opening spot move for move.
Yep.
Like a minute and a half into the match. Did you notice that?
I did.
Literally move for move. Like, he throws him, he drops to the ground, Hulk runs over him, and then stops, and he turns around and gets punched in the face. There's a test of strength spot
For
for like literally 5 minutes.
And Sid,
It just goes on forever.
Sid looks like a towering, screaming bundle of ramen noodles.
I thought you were gonna call him Sidlets for a reason.
And Hulk
for a
Hogan
second
is
there.
a hot dog. Like this, I was maybe I wrote this down because I was really hungry while I was watching this match. But I was like, I want to devour both of these men so that they never do this ever again to anyone.
A teetering tower of ramen.
Just screaming all the time.
You be nice to Mr. Udy. His name is Sid Udy.
Sid
Yeah, it is.
Beauty.
He's from West Memphis, Arkansas.
Wow. Oh, Jesus.
Now that's a place.
Yarp.
Yeah, you guys remember
was a
that
happening.
old Udy kid? He's on the damn television.
Shit,
Remember that guy who flunked out of 10th grade?
Yeah, that guy that
'Cause
was
he has
like
half a
huffing,
brain?
that guy that was like huffing latex paint in the gas station bathroom when the cops found him. He found a job. Good for him.
That would have been more entertaining to watch.
Anything would be.
Hogan, sorry, we're not there yet. Gorilla says that tremendous pressure is being applied by Sid during the test of strength. How?
What?
Is he squeezing his fingers?
They were holding hands aggressively.
Hogan actually jumps for a clothesline after Whippleman distracts him.
Oh, he jumped for it.
Sid, after the clothesline, walks over to the camera and cuts a promo mid-match.
Which was one of the only parts of it I thought.
Yeah, it was kind of awesome, actually.
Where he was like, "Do unto
That part
them
was
as
awesome.
they would do unto you, but do it first."
He fucks it. Yeah, that part was amazing.
Yeah, I was like, nice.
I do like his catchphrase is, like, the guy who rules the world.
Wait, he had a catchphrase?
Like, well, yeah, he's the man who rules the world.
That's incredible.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, you're a big, strong motherfucker. Just keep killing jobbers, because that's the only thing that makes you look good.
The world, as it turns out, is just jobbers. That's the world. He rules the world.
Pretty much.
Yep.
It's there is a Sid hits Hogan with Whippleman's doctor bag, a trap nerve hold from Sid, and then I think I wrote, "Do I have to watch this?" As it turns out, I do.
Yeah, I one of my notes is just a series of frowny faces. I counted them. There were 15 frowny faces, and that's how I felt about this match.
Yeah, I this match is an abortion. I don't like to use that phrase that often, just because but
It's serious,
with the
yeah.
stuff that happens later. No, this match is an absolute abortion.
Yep,
It gets pretty fun.
it is awful.
At this point, someone does hold up a sign that says John 3:3 on it. Which again is the same lines of Jesus answered and said unto him, "Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God." Again, probably hired by Vince to talk about Hogan.
Right. The other thing that I wanted, I want to see someone hold up a sign with a Bible verse on it that is something like, there's a proverb, as a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool recycles his folly. I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see
that'd
that.
be good for WCW.
Right. Just to describe the
If
entire.
only I could go back in time.
Oh yeah.
Now, I even wrote after, "Do I have to watch this? WrestleMania, you were doing so well." Hogan has a seizure after the power bomb.
He does.
He actually sells her, like, Hogan picks and chooses who he sells for, and apparently the key to that is you actually have to be like more bigger and more muscular than him before he'll sell for you. It's
Yeah,
like,
Hulk.
now he's ready, brother.
Yeah, Hulk becomes a Bethesda glitch for about 10 seconds.
That's a very good way of putting it.
It's incredible.
He starts hulking up. He kicks at it too. Can the people in the crowd not see this spot for spot before it gets there? At this point,
Everyone's kind of going, "Oh, okay, he's gonna Hulk up. He's gonna big boot him."
no. I mean, there are people that are like jumping up and down. It's not even like sound sweetening. People are jumping up and down, like in the crowd. Big boot, body slam. Everyone goes ape shit. Did you not see WrestleMania 3? It's like, is he going to be able to get him up? It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed, yes.
Leg drop. 1, 2. Sid kicks out.
They fucked it up.
They did fuck it up because Sid kicks out. Scooter. Why did Sid kick out?
Who knows? Because this match
I'll
needs
tell
to
you
go
why.
on.
Because Papa Shango was too late. Shango was supposed to run in and interrupt the pin, but didn't come out in time. Perhaps the Ho train was late arriving to the station.
Good dude.
Wait a second, are you telling me Papa Shango was the Godfather?
That's illegal. You can't be more than one
And
wrestler.
the Good Father?
Also, the good
Oh, the
father
good
during the
father.
yeah.
That's amazing. It's oh my god.
So Papa Shango
Whippleman-
fucked it up.
Suddenly, Papa
Whippleman gets up
Shango.
on the apron, and they. I hate it.
What?
Sorry.
you hated it so much it made you sneeze.
He only got up on the apron because of, Papa Shango not being out there. They disqualify him because
Reasons. And because Hulk Hogan picked up Harvey Whippleman and chucked him at Sid. So apparently
Catches
that warranted
him and then sets
disqualification.
him down gently.
Like when I saw him picking him up and saw the bell ringing, I'm like, the fuck just happened?
And then, of course, Ultimate Warrior decides to show up.
yeah.
Well, that was kind of like out of nowhere. It's like suddenly Ultimate Warrior, and I didn't think he did anything in '92. So I think he just went back to whatever Warrior hole he came from.
The Warrior Shack. This was so painful.
But people didn't even care about the Warrior because they were so pissed off about the ending.
Well, because it was a bullshit ending, because they cocked it
It's
up.
like, seriously?
It's just
This is your main event? Who the fuck booked this? And why was this not in the Flair Macho Man spot?
Which
It
should
ends
have
in a
been-
fucking DQ!
It
You
should
don't
have had
end
the
main
spot.
events in DQs!
Yeah. At Wrestle fucking Mania, like, the main of... I can't.
The only thing slightly worse, and only slightly, is a double fucking countout.
Which is one of the biggest cop-outs of a match.
the
I think.
Duggan special.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I gotta go and say that this match is 13 and a half minutes. It is not
long.
as long as last year,
Still too long.
but it is still too long. I like the promo mid-match. I thought the powerbomb and the chokeslam looked pretty good.
Mhm.
Who is jacking off?
Your mother?
I hope not.
Oh, no. 1 out of 5. This was horrible, obviously.
Scooter,
Yeah, 1 out of 5. That's
you
all I'm
guys are
gonna say.
assholes, and
We
you
sound
guys
like our
made me
spirits have
basically
been
change
broken.
it. I do have to change it. I think I was just so happy for it to be over earlier today. But yeah, I've got to give this one a 1.
Yeah.
Oh, you had this at a 2? You're such an asshole. How dare you
Actually-
give a DQ finish in 1? I mean 2.
Again, I don't know what was wrong with me. Fuck off, Scooter.
Well, that's what...
I'm sick and I'm here.
That's
What's
what
your
happens when
excuse,
you
you
watch
shit?
an angry... Like, again, 2 hot dogs slapping against each other for 13 minutes. It just... Your brain
So
starts
hot
shorting
dog.
out.
You're all about this food-based metaphors today, Ryan.
I'm so hungry. Oh my god.
Are
Yeah,
you guys
just 2
interested
raw
in,
porterhouses.
You guys interested in what we rated this?
Yes, actually, because this
Yeah.
might be actually kind of higher than the other ones.
Yeah, what did we give it?
Scooter, you were not here last time, but you gave last.
I gave my
you gave
ratings.
I know you gave WrestleMania 7 the highest score out of any of us. You gave it a
Really?
2.2. A 2.2 overall. I gave it a
You,
2.1.
I was like, when we were talking, like before that podcast, about how much I hated it. You guys were all like, "Oh, it's not as bad as 5," and somehow I gave it the
it
highest
was not
rating.
as bad as 5.
Nothing is as bad as 5.
Still maintain that. But 2.2 was the score you gave it, and that was the highest. I gave it a 2.1. Amber gave it a 2 even. Ryan tied his lowest score, which was WrestleMania 5, with a 1.9. If he had not given the Rockers and Haku and Barbarian a 5, it would have
What?
been a 1.9.
What? Ryan, you gave that match a 5?
I don't know.
It's Ryan.
I wish I was there to smack you.
Wait,
So,
no, there's
guess-
no way I gave it a 5. There's no way.
You totally did. Guess who gave the lowest score this time around?
Ryan.
Imagine that.
Weird.
With a 2.2 for this pay-per-view. Scooter, you
No.
and
I
tied?
gave Barbarian and Haku versus the Rockers a 4 out of 5.
You did not.
I did. It's in my notes.
Well, you're
You
wrong.
probably said 5 because you're an
You
idiot.
said 5.
Well,
You
I'll
are
go-
fat and stupid.
Yeah,
Um,
that's probably true.
Scooter, you and I both gave this one a 2.6.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Wow.
In 2
Considering.
minutes 41. Sorry, 2 hours 41 minutes and 15 seconds. There is 1 hour 23 minutes and 36 seconds of wrestling, giving us a 52% wrestling yield. Which is
I want to see the metrics on Ryan's ratings. Like just like where like what he considers what is Ryan's highest WrestleMania rating? If you can look at that.
Yeah.
well, I don't have WrestleMania 1 and 2 on here yet. But he gave 6 a 2.3. He gave Starcade a 2.9, and he gave 4 a 2.3. WrestleMania 3 was a 2.8. I think that was his highest WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Wow.
probably.
How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, if there's nothing else, gentlemen, thanks for listening to Three Pathetic Ugly Guys talk about wrestling 22 years after the fact. Follow us on Twitter at ToJ Podcast, on Facebook at facebook.com/ToJ Podcast, and even the Tumblrs at tojpodcast.tumblr.com. Send us your hate mail, tojpodcast@gmail.com. And join us every Wednesday for our sister show, Travesty of Literature, where we explore the world of fan fiction, both wrestling and otherwise. Stop by next week for episode 10, where we will, thank God, be taking a break from our WrestleMania count up with Scooter's Choice, No Way Out 2009. I'm Marty.
Caesar's Palace.
I'm Marty.
I'm Scooter.
I'm Ryan.
And remember, milk tastes better from a wine glass. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
There is audible not caring from the audience.